This AFC West preview edition of the Sports Gambling Podcast is presented by MyBookie.ag. Just in time for football season, MyBookie is offering up to $1,000 in free bets using the promo code SGP100. Up to $1,000 in bonus bets on your first deposit. Use SGP100 to play, win, and get paid at MyBookie.ag. We're also brought to you by PlayBalto, the #1 office pool hosting site. PlayBalto is fully customizable, easy to manage, and most importantly, free. If you're running a football pool this season, make your life easy and do it on PlayBalto. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com and click the PlayBalto link to sign up today. Last but not least, we're also brought to you by Sean and Colby. Sean and Colby are taking their stand-up comedy up the coast of California. August 22nd in San Francisco, August 23rd in Santa Cruz, and August 24th in Eureka, California. Go to SeanTGreen.com for more info. Ooh, welcome everyone to the Sports Gambling Podcast. I'm Sean, stacking the money green with my partner in picks, Ryan, Real Money Kramer, already on his cell phone. What's happening, Kramer?
So, Sean, I took notes. I always say that we should do this, but so as I was watching Hard Knocks tonight, taking notes for the show, wanted to pull them
Long
up.
cocks.
Apologies to the guest. I warmed up the room. Sorry for that. There you go.
Okay.
Are you going to bring him on?
Oh, yes, and joining us as well, Justin, San Diego Superchargers Decker. Decker, what's happening, man?
Nothing, man.
Sorry, we gotta play it.
Charge. We're coming your way. We're gonna dazzle you with our play. No, I've also watched the Hard Knocks tonight.
All right, yeah, we got to talk Hard Knocks.
I just gotta say before you guys get into it, I hate the Raiders, and you know how Hard Knocks makes you like really into it. I started to love the Raiders, so I had to turn it off.
It is weird.
I
right?
love John Gruden. I still hate the Raiders.
Watching Hard Knocks, you immediately fall in love with the team. You're immediately I know the player's backstory. You're falling in love with him. I found myself the same thing. I was thinking, how am I going to be able to make fun of John Gruden after watching this documentary where he comes off likable? And then I dug deep and I found some heart, some soul. Rudy inspired me to still be able to make fun of John Gruden because he's just a maniac.
We love John Madden.
Yeah.
But we also love to clown.
Those guys who will get penetration.
We love to clown John. The man drove around in a bus sponsored by Outback Steakhouse. When I was younger, I thought Outback was classy. But now looking back on it, that's hilarious.
Well, maybe we'll have
we're here in the Chili's Cruiser. I mean, this is what he is. John Gruden is a beautiful caricature. Yes. He will and eventually go back to Monday Night Football.
But his decisions are bad.
Well, they are bad. They're very bad.
I mean, we don't know that John Madden's decisions were good. It was back when guys had jobs in the offseason. I'm not going to say he was a coaching genius.
His decision to sign off on John Madden football, great decision.
Great decision. He is a massive fan of the 7-man sled, as we learned.
His decision to avoid plane travel for his entire life, probably not a great decision.
We don't know what kind of radiation he's avoiding up there.
He always missed the Pro Bowl. He couldn't make the Pro Bowl. Remember that?
Oh, yeah, because he couldn't.
Who did they have in his place? Was it Al Michaels for years?
Probably.
I don't know, some other random guy. I don't know.
Pat Summerall just in the booth by himself.
No, Mike Mayock and John Gruden are TV guys. They're just on this for the TV. They're made for TV. They're made for Hard Knocks, but not their decisions have been really bad.
Yeah, I like Mike Mayock, but I think he's kind of along for the ride with John Gruden. I think he's just Gruden. They paid Gruden $100 million. It's basically his pirate ship, if you will, sink or swim. So I think Mayock, he has a relationship with Gruden, but I think Gruden's deciding a lot of this stuff. Gruden was probably all in on Josh Jacobs. Farrell taking him number 4 overall. Those feel like very Gruden-y picks.
Can you imagine? Mayock did have an opinion. Part of the reason I liked him on TV is he had his own opinion.
Yes.
So I could see him liking someone. But at the same time, when you're just coming from the media, you would also have to have some self-awareness of when you're just going to get blasted for an objectively bad pick. Now, can you imagine what a disagreement looks like with John Gruden? he just goes like this. He's just like, and he just gets redder and that shot from behind him.
He's got that like smirk or that tight-lipped thing that he does.
That shot from behind him on Hard Knocks this past week, episode 2, where you kind of saw that balding head through his blonde hair. I just saw shades of Hulk Hogan. Just like
there's some
ultimate Florida Mount Rushmore, just true. Anyway, he's a caricature. He's great on the show. How do you not love that that he's the coach?
Oh, I mentioned it last podcast. I would really want a giant frame photo of John Gruden from that John Gruden Hard Knocks. That photo is amazing.
I wrote down a quote. He's been so poetic. After the practice with the Rams, he walks over to his old protege, or I guess what would you call it? His old protege, and he goes, "I heard you got me on a fucking sale takeoff, you prick."
What? A sale takeoff?
That's some play. Like they're talking about practice. Sean McVay.
Oh yeah.
He hired Sean McVay for that whole. Listen, Gruden's a lovable guy, and to Decker's original point, they are making the Raiders very likable.
Yeah.
Very
I started to like the team, and I was like, what am I doing?
Derek Carr, you're invited to watch football at my house anytime you want.
Wow.
But at the same time, they're still the Raiders. They just cut their 5th-round punter.
Yeah.
It's like you're taking a punter in the 5th round. That's your guy for life. You can't just cut that guy.
Yeah. Roberto Aguayo. That was Roberto Aguayo-esque move.
Yeah.
Okay, we got some football to talk about. We'll hit Raiders more when we get to the Raiders, but
you haven't even hit their top 3 bad decisions yet. Go for it.
Big announcement. Justin Decker will be with us September 5th at Legacy's Stadium. I've been calling it Legacy Stadium the entire time, but there is an apostrophe S. Legacy Stadium. It is Emerald Lagasse Stadium, sportsbook, restaurant. They also have a radio studio. We will be doing a live pregame Periscope counting down the 100th season of the National Football League opening game between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Right now, the spread over at mybookie.ag +3.5. But we're going to have a grand old time. And if you want to be there to hang, drop us an email, podcast@sportsgamblingpodcast.com. I'm going to run this right into the mybookie.ag read because we're hanging out at Legacy Stadium. But ultimately, this entire podcast, the podcast network, the articles that Justin Decker posts about the AFC West, all this presented by mybookie.ag. And right now, football is back. That means MyBookie's back and better than ever. They didn't really go anywhere, but SGP100, that's a promo code to use right now. Up to $1,000 in free bets. That's right, $1,000 in free bets. And while you're there depositing, reloading for the 2019 NFL season, make sure you check out that Super Contest. Only a $100 entry fee for their version of the NFL Super Contest. No proxy. You pick 5 games each week against the spread. You kind of decide which 5 you like best. $100,000 prize guaranteed to first place. And what's really awesome, every dollar they collect goes back into the prize pool. No rake over at mybookie.ag. Play, win, and get paid.
Well done, Sean.
.ag. Good times. Let's get to it.
You forgot to mention something about fans have a chance to see me wearing a Jordy Nelson jersey.
That is right.
I will take a picture with you.
Oh, my God.
If you forget, Billy Bahate, our host of the EPL show and the Fight Show, challenged one Ryan Kramer to a lock challenge, a challenge which regrettably Ryan Kramer lost, and part of settling up for the wager is Ryan has to wear a Green Bay Packers jersey on the broadcast. A fan was nice enough to send in a Jordy Nelson jersey, the Packers jersey, so you will just be blending in with the Packers fans that will be on hand at Legacy Stadium.
It's almost like we knew. It's almost like all of this is fixed.
It really kind of worked itself out.
How are the Packers playing the night I have to wear this jersey? How did that work out like that?
It's going to be great because people are going to be coming up and like, hey, you like us this week? What do you
think
I do.
Today? Rodgers catching 3.5. Yes, please.
Oh, yeah. Rodgers usually catches more than that, but that's another
Especially
conversation.
From Jordy Nelson.
Let's kick things off. Denver Broncos. I'll give my big thoughts. Kramer, you'll give your big thoughts. Decker, You weigh in with your thoughts, and then we'll walk through the schedule.
But Decker doesn't have big thoughts, just thoughts.
He's got big thoughts.
I got a lot of big thoughts on the Broncos.
Decker just looked at his phone, and it cracks me up every single time.
I still have the stats on there.
Yeah, a lot of times the lock screen on someone's phone is a photo of a loved one, a pet. Yeah. For Decker, it is the 2004 career stats of the 3 quarterbacks selected, highlighting Phillip Rivers' dominance over the other 2 quarterbacks, Ben Roethlisberger and Eli Manning.
Every category except for one.
Which column is the Super Bowl victories?
I don't put that on there because these are individual stats.
Okay.
Guys.
That's a team game.
Yeah. And Phillip Rivers leads in every category except for yards per attempt, second to Ben Roethlisberger by 0.1 yards, folks. This year, talk to me at the end of this year. I want to see all green on the top.
All right.
Of my screen share.
Well, we'll have plenty of time to talk Chargers. That's why we brought you on. Right now, we're doing the Broncos.
Yeah.
Here are my big thoughts on the Broncos. Joe Flacco lost his job to Lamar Jackson, whose biggest weakness as a quarterback was throwing the football. How do you lose your job to Lamar Jackson? That playoff game, they still wouldn't put him back in. That, to me, is a red flag about Joe Flacco. More so, what are the odds that Elway is right about his quarterback? John Elway got lucky with Peyton Manning, and then since then, it has just been whiff after whiff from John Elway. The other side of the ball, though, the Broncos defense should be legit. They brought in Juwan James. That should help out the right tackle. Emmanuel Sanders tore his Achilles, but somehow he's going to be ready to go week 1. I'm a little skeptical.
That's unbelievable.
He looks healthy.
Yeah, he does.
He doesn't look bad. We'll see.
No, he's going to play in the preseason game.
Oh, really?
Preseason.
That's insane.
They said he wants to get him like a few plays, like the first drive.
Wow, that's
unbelievably.
Shocking. Other side of the offensive coin, Phillip Lindsay. I love that guy. Huge man crush on Phillip Lindsay. 1,037 yards, 5.4 yards per carry. I think he had around 30 receptions. Still living in his parents' basement. Has not decided to move out yet. So, interesting move there by Lindsay. But really,
saving that cash, Sean.
Exactly. Really, for the Broncos, it's Vic Fangio coming in and bringing that. That Bears defense was legit last year.
Yeah.
Bradley Chubb, 12 sacks as a rookie, partnered up with Von Miller. That defense is going to be tough. To me, it's just
they might have a better pass rush than the Bears, even with Khalil Mack.
You could certainly make that case. To me, it's like I'd like to kind of get on the Broncos as a dark horse sleeper. What scares me is I really just can't imagine Joe Flacco has much left in the tank. Drew Lock seems pretty far away from being able to be a quality NFL starter.
No, he's no Daniel Jones.
And Denver has kind of lost their home field advantage post Peyton Manning era. Only 12-12 at home. That used to be their go-to move. You could count on them. They're still pretty good in the month of September, but you could count on them to show up at home. And in this, this just desert of decent quarterbacks that they've been searching for, they've really fallen off. 12-12 at home post Peyton Manning.
And quick betting alert to week 2. Vic Fangio revenge spot at home against the Bears. We like them early at home at the elevation.
I like everything there. What am I right about? What am I wrong, Kramer?
Well, Decker. Do you want to say something?
Decker's ready to pop.
He was chomping
at the bit.
I'm
just what I observed from last year was their defense is built to sack the quarterback. They're built to have a lead.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm not sure Flacco gives that much to them to have a lead. If you look at his stats, he's good at home. I think we're giving too much to Flacco because he always made the playoffs. He was always with a good Ravens team, but
good defense, and
he had a 90% or a 90 QBR at home, 78 away.
Yeah.
So,
but you could
Denver
see that
has
kind
that
of team.
Field advantage, but I don't think they're going to give enough to those pass rushers. Remember, they lost Brandon Marshall and Roby, too. So I think their defense is built to have a lead.
Yeah.
And I don't see them pulling away with Flacco as quarterback. I see a similar kind of situation as last year.
Interesting about Flacco, since the last time he's had above 7 in yards per attempt, 2014. So the demise of Flacco has been long coming. And he's just not a franchise quarterback. And there was a time where he was good enough if you gave him a good defense to get you double-digit wins, and and he went on that Super Bowl run. But I think those days are long behind him. Like, he's a liability right now. He used to be a guy that was like slightly better than a game manager. Then he switched into game manager. And the last couple of years, I think he's a legit liability at the quarterback position.
But after he won that Super Bowl, he got the league's biggest contract, which was
That's how it works,
eye-opener.
Decker. You
Yeah.
win Super Bowls. NFL likes winners.
Broncos,
I mean, he's always had a defense.
their win total set at 7, minus 115 on the over and the under, plus 1,200 for the division, 4,500 for the conference, plus 10,000 for the Super Bowl. Like I said, they brought in Flacco, Jawan James, Kareem Jackson at cornerback, Bryce Callahan. Early draft picks, Noah Fant. They seem to be hyping him up. We'll see. Dalton Risner, Drew
Reisner.
Lock, Draymond Jones, Justin Hollins. Offseason losses. Case Keenum. I don't know how much of a loss that is. Jared Veld here on the offensive line. Matt Paredes, nose tackle. Damata Peko, Shaq Barnett, Shane Ray, and Brandon Marshall, like Decker was hitting on there. Bradley Roby, Darian Stewart.
Yeah, Shane Ray's not much of a loss after he had kind of a setback season last year.
Yeah.
But
Their defense should still keep them in games, right?
yeah. But I mean, let's just talk about Joe Flacco going to a new system. Joe Flacco.
I know,
we were
just
talking
Joe
about-
Flacco. That's
Honestly,
really all you have to say.
2 years ago, we were talking about Case Keenum in the running for MVP
Yeah.
with the Vikings. No, I'm serious. He was like top 3. We were talking about MVP.
Yep.
He goes to the Broncos, nothing.
Didn't go well.
No, it didn't go. You think Flacco, with all those defenses to the Broncos?
Here's what I would say.
78 QBR on the road.
I think that when Flacco was successful on a team with a great defense, they also had a great offensive line. And I think that's the thing. No one,
Yeah, they did.
I didn't hear either of you touch on this, but Denver's offensive line is the big question mark. And a guy like Joe Flacco, he's still got an
needs-
arm. He's at elevation. I could see him working that deep ball, but he needs time.
Wait, is it like Coors Field where his deep ball's gonna carry because of the elevation?
It's you could definitely throw the ball further.
Wait, what?
No. But
Does that work with footballs?
What
I guess
I
it
guess it
I
doesn't matter. You have to know
guarantee-
where you need to know where it's going to go.
I guess
though.
it works when you're kicking field goals, but he still has to be accurate.
Yeah, obviously,
Right.
but it's a deep. I'm just saying he can throw it.
I don't know,
further.
just the idea.
No, but
I
let-
just
let-
imagine as a kid, and when I was living in Colorado, I would just always love those John Elway. What was it, the Nerf Turbo or whatever?
Yeah.
Or
The tail. They have the tail on it.
Yeah,
right?
where it's like a
Vortex
missile.
or whatever.
He threw it 90 yards. John Elway was the man.
So this team has a giant question mark on the offensive line, but I do think Vic Fangio is good enough to and has the. I mean, you're arguing top 3 pass rush potential in the league.
Yeah.
With a guy who has proven that he can coach defense. He is on the older side, so there is that. I mean, he seemed to have the respect of his players in Chicago. I would expect the same here. The offensive line is going to be such a detriment. And to your point, they are built to play from a lead. They have that pass rush. I do think this defense is going to end up in the top 10 somewhere. I don't know if the
could even
offense is going to
say
be in the top 20.
5.
Don't know if the offense.
Yeah, Keenum turned it over. I mean, the Joe Flacco's a smart quarterback. He's a game manager. He has a good record at home. He needs to keep it close and keep the lead so the pass rush can get there because they can't stop the run. But if they keep it close and play in the lead at home, they have potential to go 6-2. I mean, they can go 6-2 at home and 1-7 on the
Well, we'll
road
go through the
this year.
schedule in a second, but the other thing to point out is, according to the Football Outsiders, they have the toughest schedule this season.
Which is
Oh, shit.
unbelievable because the Chiefs and the Chargers have easier schedules than the bottom 2 teams.
Oh, that's
That's
just the
another
way
story.
the
It's just
cookie
unlucky, yeah.
crumbles. Yeah, I mean, the two things I
It's
would point
weird.
out, that and there's a lot of questions at the receiving core. So even if you believe that Joe Flacco is going to somehow do something with this team, yes, Joe Flacco likes working the tight end, but he needs someone to throw to deep. And I'm not sure the Broncos know. Like Emmanuel Sanders, yes, maybe he comes back and plays. I hope he does. I like him as a player, but that's just a tough injury to come back from. And I can't imagine he's as effective
I'm
as he has
surprised
been.
they're going to play him next week.
Rookie tight ends, rarely are they productive. No
Yeah,
offense.
I mean,
I think that's a
if you-
tough ask.
He's
you
always
have-
had good tight ends.
But if you have 30,
Joe,
If you have 30
Decker
catches as a
loving tight
rookie
end.
tight
Yes.
end, that's a good season. I mean,
So-
that's not game changing.
I think when you look at that offense, and I'm a big fan of Phillip Lindsay. I like Royce Freeman too. I just wonder, will they be able to get the running game going behind that porous offensive line, and will Joe Flacco have time to throw? So, definitely not super bullish on the Broncos, Sean. Shall we go through the schedule?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. At
go.
Oakland, the late game on Monday Night Football. Elway will be sauced for this one. Back at home, week 2. Like I said, revenge spot, Chicago. I don't know why it's revenge, but revenge spot for Vic Fangio hosting the Bears. At Green Bay, Jacksonville at home. That is a tough stretch because you're all right, so at Oakland, divisional game.
Do you think Vic Fangio has the script on Mitch Trubisky? I think they go 2-2.
Does
I-
anybody?
I
He
think
just
they
kind of runs around and throws the ball deep.
I think Jacksonville can come in there and beat them, but I'll say 2-2 as well. Decker, what are you thinking?
No, I'm going 1-3.
Yeah, that's probably a more accurate.
They do have. Oh yeah,
They-
they split.
They could
split
lose
with
to
them.
Jacksonville at the Chargers, Tennessee at home, Kansas City at home on a short week, at Indy. They're not winning the road games. They're not beating Kansas City, but they're going to beat Tennessee, Sean, because Tennessee probably one of the worst teams in the AFC.
Wow, Ryan, we are
Okay.
catching-
5-win team. It's a 5-win team.
Not according to your Twitter followers.
I'm sorry.
You've enraged all our We're getting a lot of heat for our 5-11 Titans prediction.
I mean, I'll happily bet you. I think the total's what, 8, 7.5, 8.
Nope.
Well, he
Nope.
came. We've had multiple Titans fans get really pissed at us.
For
One's
the
this
Titans.
guy Richard on Twitter going really hard at us. Six tweets deep. Well, let's see. But then he walks through the schedule and he gives them 9 and 7. So it's like,
All right, bro. So you're barely taking the over. I'll happily take that wager. Just like I'll happily take anyone who wants to take the Browns to win the Super Bowl. I'll take the other side of that.
so you're willing to take all Titans over action?
Yeah, I mean, what do we pick it at, Sean? 8?
Yeah, that's
right.
what mybookie.ag has, it,
Let's
and that's
do
where
it.
we get these lines from.
All right, back to the schedule. So
I got it 1-3.
I got it 1-3.
But damn, yeah, I mean,
1-3.
they could beat the Chiefs at home
stop
No,
it.
they can't.
Monday
Well, no,
night.
they can.
That's going to be their Super Bowl.
I
Joe
think
Fla-
they- I
all
I'll
right,
go
so-
2-2. I'm going to go 2-2.
They
I'm just
can't-
slightly higher.
They can't score enough points. You
That is part of their
They-
problem.
Cleveland, then into the bye
their
week.
schedule is really hard.
It's
At
amazing,
Minnesota,
right?
at Buffalo,
Oh my god.
Chargers at home.
Jesus. All right, 1-3. But that's probably because I was probably too high last time at 2-2.
Decker?
No, I'm going 2-2. They're gonna win 1 or 2 against the AFC West.
See, I feel. You think the Chargers can't go into Denver and beat them?
It's always a tough game. Last year it was a tough game.
All right,
I think they may beat the Chargers at home. You know,
I'm 1-3 here. Fuck it.
so I got them at 4 wins.
Last 4 at Houston, at Kansas City, Detroit, and Oakland. I think they're gonna win those last 2 games.
Yep.
Yeah,
2 and
2
I
and
have
2.
I have that too. I have them 6-10.
So Decker
Sean,
6-10.
I am also 6-10.
Okay. And what did I end up? 7-9
Sean, you ended up.
or 8-8?
I'm sorry. You went 1-3 on one of them, right? Or did you go 2-2 across the board? I think you went 8-8, Sean.
No, I think I had 1-3. in
You're
there.
right. You're right. 7-9.
But I will, since I'm 7-9, and since we have to make a pick, I'm going over.
What's the total at?
Yeah,
6.5.
I'll move it to
Well,
8-8.
that was a
I don't
couple
know
weeks
where they're
ago.
going to get that 8th win, but
6.5.
I'm going to say they're 8-8. I don't feel super strong on it, and 8's probably their ceiling. But
So
I'll just go over.
To win, you're betting on Joe Flacco
And Phillip Lindsay
and that offensive line winning
and Cortland Sutton.
eight
To
football
be
games in
500.
the National Football League.
Well, to me, it's about the defense. This team feels prime for a couple defensive touchdowns that help you win games that you shouldn't. Maybe they get the home field advantage back. Phillip Lindsay breaks off a couple big runs. They feel closer to average than 6-10 to me. So give me 8-8. But
Wow.
I can't argue with the 6-10 prediction. Their schedule is really tough.
And not only that, but
That's
they're like
amazing.
Chicago, the 2 home games they have, they're playing an opponent who's coming off Thursday Night Football.
That's
they're-
a great.
that-
That's
I
a
mean-
great tip.
So
And that's
the,
probably why their schedule is ranked so hard.
even the home games, it's just it's brutal. All right, Sean.
Brutal. Kansas City Chiefs right now over at mybookie.ag. Win total set at 10.5. Over -120, under -110, -170 to win the division. That's kind of insane. +300 to win the conference. No value there. +600 for the Super Bowl. Who'd the Chiefs bring in? Carlos Hyde, Frank Clark. That's a pretty big signing. Alex Okafor, Damian Wilson, Bashan Breeland, Tyrann Mathieu, a.k.a. the Honey Badger. Who did they draft? McCole Hardman, Juan Thornhill, Colleen Sanders. Who they lose? Spencer Ware, Kelvin Benjamin, center Mitch Morse, Allen Bailey, D. Ford, Justin Houston. That's kind of big.
Those are the big 2.
Steven
the last
Nelson,
ones.
and then Eric Berry. But again, he didn't really do much last year. Kind of a sad story. Big news out of Kansas City. Tyreek Hill,
Yep.
upstanding citizen. He's fine. For some reason, he's not suspended.
Disciplinarian.
Steve Spagnuolo brought in to help round out the defense here as the defensive coordinator.
They lost every defensive coach, by the way.
Yeah.
It's like
Cleaned
a
house
whole-
on the defensive
whole
side.
new defensive coaching
Kansas,
staff.
well, and with good reason. They let up 26.2 points per game. Frank Clark, that's kind of their big, shiny offseason acquisition, coming off a 13-sack season. The Honey Badger, who's a guy who just kind of makes plays. His health has always been an issue. Thornhill at safety, the guy they drafted. It's looking like he's taking snaps with the ones. He could be a starter. Everyone's saying Mahomes, he's going to have a regression. You're coming off a 50-touchdown MVP season. It's hard not to have a regression, but how much are they going to regress? It still feels like they're primed to just go lights out, being able to move the ball up and down the field at will. The defense, they're in a situation where it'd be tough for them to get worse as far as points per game and what they did. If Spags can get a little something out of them and just knock it down a couple points, maybe that balances out the regression. They were 12-4 last season. Feels like they're just going to kind of be in. You look at the schedule, like looking ahead at the lines. How many
They
games
got
are they
lucky
not
with
going to
their
be favored?
schedule. I think he will regress, though.
Well, that's everyone's saying this. He's going to regress.
No, he will.
No
He
shit.
will.
He had 50 touchdowns. He can regress by like 20% and still have 40 touchdowns.
Well, and also
That's
generally
crazy.
from your first year as a starter to your second year as a starter as a quarterback, you're going to make a leap up. So that's kind of scary. And maybe the numbers regress, but he becomes a better quarterback. I don't know if that's possible.
Well, it's also like, so the offense regresses a little bit and the defense takes a small step forward and they're not bottom 5.
But it
Maybe
didn't take a step forward. They lost. Their defense actually got worse, which is amazing. That was the biggest, as a Charger fan, that was the biggest thing that I worried about, was their defense can only get better. And they still finished 12-4.
Spags
They
can-
actually got worse.
Spags has a special place in my heart, of course, Sean.
But he's
Defensive
installing a
coordinator.
4-3 defense on a brand new coaching staff.
No,
I mean, it's
That's
That's
I
tough.
always
That's
worry
tough,
about
man.
that switch. I think going from
It's tough.
3-4 to 4-3 is a little bit easier than vice versa. But anytime you're transitioning defensive schemes, you got to be a little worried, right?
a whole new coaching staff. I don't know how many of the guys he knows and brought in, to be honest with you. A lot of the guys I've never even heard
low
before.
pressure system over there on the defensive side of the ball. But yeah, he's going to regress. I think anyone who's arguing that he's not going to regress is just, they're obviously not familiar with the numbers like Sean over here.
I'm a numbers man.
Numbers, man. But that being said, to all the points, they were. It wasn't like they were lucky last year. They were just good.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that opening.
We've seen quarterbacks regress. Do you remember Dante Culpepper's year? After a second
absolutely.
year?
And
do you remember that?
but I
do
thought-
you remember how? Do you remember Michael Vick's Griffin?
yeah, look,
Their first year, it happened. The Chargers figured it out because they had to play him twice. They played him in the first game of the year. He threw 6 touchdowns. You rush him, make him run up the middle,
yeah.
and cover the receivers on the outside. Kelsey's going to do his thing, but they figured him out. I think
The Chargers also
they're
have
going to
a
actually figure him out this year.
The
They
Chargers
to.
have
He
a great
ran wild.
defense, though. Like
Yeah.
the Chargers are a very good defense.
They're an outlier. As
They
far
have-
as
But I
teams
could
he's gonna
see what
face.
they did the second game, and I saw what they did. You just rush
they
them,
have
make them
the-
run up
How
the
many
middle.
How many teams have a safety that can cover the field like the Chargers? How many teams
Well,
have a
I mean-
pass rush like the Chargers?
Like Melvin Gordon
I-
and Joey Bosa.
Well, we
Melvin
saw
Ingram.
that. We saw the
Melvin Ingram.
Patriots. We saw the Patriots blitz them.
What did I say?
On
Melvin
the
Gordon?
blind
Melvin
side.
Gordon.
Yeah.
So-
Same difference.
Melvin Ingram.
Look, I hear you. Like, there's always that. Well, now we got this many games of tape on him. Now, like
No, they did. You could tell in the
They start to figure it out. It's
They-
Andy Reid
they
though,
started to.
and this team may
Andy
never.
Reid runs a West Coast offense.
this-
Patrick Mahomes does whatever he wants.
This team may never. They're not going to be a Belichick style team where they're peaking in the playoffs. This is a Andy Reid style team that is going to dominate the regular season, and that's what we're here to talk about today. At least for
Andy
the win total.
Reid.
That is true.
Andy Reid, 13 double-digit wins.
It's
Double-digit win seasons in 20 seasons. That's an insane. I'll reveal John Gruden's double-digit wins when we get to the Raiders. Much lower, but that's an insane. That's an insane number. I mean, he got double-digit wins out of McNabb for the vast majority of his career, and as much as I respect McNabb, even though he kind of was a douche post Eagles,
Kinda.
Or when he forgot what overtime was.
Patrick Mahomes
man.
is he's like a combination of Michael Vick and Donovan McNabb.
Yeah.
But let's walk
He
through
is
the
amazing.
schedule.
You want all right? I mean, the other thing I was going to throw out is, like Decker was pointing out, like strangely, the Chiefs don't have the hardest schedule,
No,
And
it's
the
crazy.
Chargers, too. The Chargers and the Chiefs randomly just got lucky.
But when we look at this schedule, you see how critical it is that they're not without Tyreek Hill for the first couple games, because it does start.
The start of the schedule is tougher.
It's
Yeah.
it's not necessarily tough when you look at the games, but it's tough when you look at the situations.
Yeah.
At Jacksonville, at Oakland, Baltimore at home, at Detroit. Baltimore's not going to be a good road game, but they are the kind of team that might. The Baltimore's the random team that comes in and gives Kansas City a game because they
What's
slow
their
the
first
game
game
down.
again?
They at Jacksonville, at Oakland, Baltimore, at Detroit. 3 road games in the first 4. At Detroit, I'm not worried. It's on turf. That doesn't feel like the kind of game that they lapse on, even though it's a non-conference home game. For me, it's the random game is the Raiders. That's the random loss here. If you're gonna not give them 4-0, even though they have 3 road games.
yeah, I can't identify the loss, but I say
Jack,
3-1.
well, come on, dude. I was setting you up to disagree with me and say we pointed this out on the AFC South preview, which you should head over to. How can people subscribe, Sean?
SportsGamblingPodcast.com.
And
Hit us up on
listen to
iTunes.
that, because we point out how these teams in Florida do so well.
September's their time to shine.
And that is the game I'm
But
telling
I also
you they
pointed
lose.
out that Andy Reid is great in home openers. We know he brought the pickle juice down to Dallas when
He
the
did.
Eagles surprised the Cowboys and beat them and started the game with an onside kick. He is a guy that does great with a lot of preparation. And
Big Dick Nick revenge spot against
He's
Andy
got
Reid.
the book on Nick Foles, which kind of worries me as a Jags backer. As you know, if you've read the comments on our AFC South preview. So I'll say 3-1.
Here's my hot take, Sean. The Kansas City. I'm going to go 3-1 as well, but the Kansas City Chiefs are not undefeated after week 2.
Wow.
Wow. I'm going 3-1, and I can't even pick out the loss. I honestly, I just kind of want to go 3-1 just in case.
Yeah,
Just
I'm
because
kind
you
of
don't know the
Decker.
NFL. I can't even pick
They're
out.
going
a
to lose to
loss.
Jacksonville, and it's going to be a whole week of what's wrong with the Kansas City Chiefs. So, random story about the Chiefs. I'm in Hawaii. I look over to the TV, kind of in the background, in this place we're at, and it's they're showing the video of Andy Reid in the punt passing.
Oh
and
my
kick.
God, the greatest video of all time.
300-pound,
He
13-year-old.
looks. That is just that will be a relic of mankind.
Well, you mentioned Hawaii, and I thought you were gonna bring up Brent Musburger, who rocked a sweet Hawaiian shirt in Hard Knocks, and maybe he was over in the islands picking that shirt up.
That wasn't like I'm wearing the Hawaiian shirt to work 'cause it's Friday. That was I'm on fucking vacation all the time.
TGIF.
All the time. Like
The
where
guy really is living the dream.
you're in fucking Napa. The dude's wearing a purple and fucking yellow.
And you got when he does the Las Vegas games, Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh,
their
yeah.
stadium is right across from like Mandalay Bay.
Perfect.
He's gonna be running into the stadium like tickets falling out of his
Yeah, dude.
pockets.
He's a fucking hero, dude. He's a hero.
Legend.
He's gonna have the time of his life.
Next for Indy at home, Houston at home, at Denver on a Thursday night, Green Bay at home. As much as I like the Green Bay team this year, I just don't think they're coming into Kansas City and winning that game. It is still Aaron Rodgers, though.
Yeah, I'll say 3-1, and I'm probably similar mindset of Decker. I don't know where the loss comes from, but you got 3 home games with this Chiefs team. Maybe they lose in Denver. I do think that will be a tough spot for them because that's what is it, a Monday night game?
I'll sprinkle
Thursday
a loss.
night game.
I'll sprinkle a loss with you. 3-1.
Yeah, it's a Thursday night game on the road in Denver, October. That could be a tough spot. I'll say 3-1. But if you said 4-0 there, I don't think you're crazy.
I'm going 3-1.
Yeah, I feel like I should be 7-1, but I'm at 6-2. Next for Minnesota at home, at Tennessee, easy win there. At Chargers in Mexico on Monday night, bye week. Oakland at home.
4-0.
Do you think the Chargers will
3-1.
have more fans in their home game
Yeah, that's
in
a
Mexico?
weird thing in Mexico. I'm not even upset about that. I'm like,
No.
oh, we have to play in Mexico? No, it could be
Are
a
you
benefit.
are the
It's a
Chargers
dream.
big?
Patrick Mahomes could get diarrhea. It's and Philip Rivers is a veteran. He knows how to stop
Yeah.
the diarrhea.
Yeah,
so
and
this is a
he's lived in
advantage
San Diego. He
for
probably went
San
over to
Diego.
Tijuana to
This is
escape hanging out with his kids for a day and got a hold of some water.
This is a
We
plus
went to
for
a
San
donkey
Diego.
show.
I saw Philip Rivers on Father's Day, by the way.
Yes.
I don't know
Oh,
if
wow.
I told you that.
It's a
I
great
was
moment.
at Jersey Mike's, and he had a Sprinter van, and his 9 kids ran out. And I said, "Hey, Philip, happy Father's Day." That's the end of the story.
Did he? Did
But
It's a
he
great
acknowledge-
story,
It's just
Doug.
funny to see a
It's a great
Sprinter
story.
van open up and just 9 kids pour out and rush in.
Did he acknowledge that you said, "What's up? Happy Father's Day"?
He probably gets it all the time. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" He doesn't know who's a Charger fan still and who's angry and who's like pro Philip.
You gotta
He's in
be
a weird spot
careful,
because he
you know?
still loves San Diego. You know,
Yeah.
he's in a weird. It's a weird thing going on.
It's a tough.
There's not a lot of. I got people started booing at a Chargers Ravens game that I went to in a bar when the Chargers lost, and I wanted to fight somebody in front
Wait,
of my
why were
parents.
they? Wait, why were they booing?
Because they hate the Chargers in San
Oh.
Diego. They don't like the Chargers. People who live in San Diego.
I gotta be
wouldn't they
honest.
Fight somebody.
That's confusing because wouldn't they be cheering if the Chargers lost?
They were cheering.
Oh, they cheered when
They
the Chargers
cheered when
lost.
the Chargers
Okay.
lost, and I wanted to fight them
Oh, okay.
in a San Diego bar.
I gotta be honest, Decker. I feel like this is a big deal to no one other than Chargers.
But
fans.
can anyone relate to this?
Well, in fact-
nobody's the NFL team is left. and
Well,
moved to
the
another
Rams
city.
fans.
Well, hold on. There are so few Chargers fans, and I
Right.
learned this tonight on Hard Knocks as I was watching. But the starting quarterback of the Oakland Raiders, is trolling you, naming one of his children Decker.
Yeah.
He knows you're a Chargers fan. He listens
I
to
know,
that
man.
sweet, sweet intro.
Decker,
He
Yeah.
hears those
3
vocals.
kids.
Dallas, Dakota.
Dallas, Dakota, and Decker.
His
I
brother
don't know what the other
David.
D is, but
Tri-
it's-
well,
we're gonna
'cause-
find it out.
Because the Cars love those triple Ds.
Triple D's, David,
Carlos.
and Derek.
We're all
I
at
love the
6-2.
Ds.
Next for
No,
next.
I already said 4-0.
Oh yeah, we're at this. I'm catching up. You think they?
I'm 9-3.
Are you 3-1 as well, Decker?
9-3.
I'm 3-1
Yeah.
as well. Sean's going 4-0. Onions play at New England, Denver at Chicago, Chargers at home.
2-2.
Yeah, those
2-2.
those road games are going to be tough spots there.
2-2. Things get a little shaky. So what am I at? 12-4.
I'm at 11-5, which is still the over.
I was going to say I feel like I went pretty conservative, and I still got them to 11-5.
11-5 feels like their floor, right? Am I
Sean, you're
crazy?
12-4.
Their defense did not get better, guys. They got worse.
I don't
believe it or
think that
not.
matters.
with a whole new coaching staff, and he's got to beat the sophomore slump and the Madden curse. Both of them.
Well, really, all he has to beat is 26.2 points per game, which is an incredibly low bar. If they can just get down to like 24 points per game, which is not good defense, I think it's possible.
I don't know. I think he regressed later in the season. People started to figure him out. You know,
Look, I was
They did.
I was really intrigued when the Tyreek Hill thing was going to be a suspension because that starting slate,
It just
you
opened.
could see them trip, and
It's-
then you have to see how do they react to the trip. How they're not invincible like Decker was pointing out. Teams were kind of starting to learn some stuff. What if it gets that much more difficult? And to your point, the defense sucks.
they lost Justin Houston. That's their
then
best player.
then they
That's true.
start falling back. But at 10.5,
I still picked them over.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I'm hating on him, and I still picked them over.
I just
Use
don't-
contrarian
They're
regression
not going
angle.
12-4 though. I guarantee you.
All right, so
guarantee
you have
it.
them exactly at 11-5.
Yes,
I like that very specific.
because they're going to go
prediction.
7-1 at home. You know, who are they losing to at home?
They're not going to lose at home.
Maybe
but
the Chargers and somebody else, the Packers.
they could lose one, maybe 2 games.
You think Aaron Rodgers likes being number 2?
I'll tell you what though, you're not losing out if you're setting up an office football pool and you go to play Balto. That's right. If you're like me and you've worked in an office, Decker, you work in an office.
I do.
People, they always hit you up for the office football pool, right?
yeah, I
They
love it.
maybe even you're known as the sports guy. Oh, hey, you like sports, right? Hey, why don't you run the office football pool? Can kind of be a pain in the ass. That's where Play Balto comes in to help you out. They got every different style of pool you want to do. They got you covered. 30 plus different ways. You can save time tracking the buy-ins. You can streamline the entire management process from hours to minutes. You can get started on Balto in 60 seconds or less. Pick'em, survivor pools, ATS, whatever kind of game you're interested in playing. They got you covered, man. We had our March Madness pool through them. Setup was a breeze. Play Balto, the first site built specifically for pool-style betting games. Stop getting charged on outdated, lackluster sites that look like they were made in the early 90s. You don't need a dial-up modem. You need Play Balto. If you're running a football pool this season, make your life easy. Do it over at Play Balto. Go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com. Click the Play Balto link today. While you're there, also enter. They get a little contest. You can win $1,000 in an NFL Pick'em. Brought to you by Joe Montana. That's right, Joe Cool. Moving on to. Oh wait.
No, that's probably fair.
Yes.
They're going to be on the clock
Well,
fairly early.
oh, we're doing. No, it's the Los
Oh,
Angeles
you're right, you're right.
Superchargers.
Oh yeah, do it.
Here we go. Oh, damn it. Why can't I find this the fucking thing? Anyway, Sandy, Justin, can you do it live since you're here?
We're coming your way. We're gonna dazzle you with our play. San Diego Superchargers. Charge. Oh, I felt like that was a good one.
Yeah, that
like
was
better than what I did before.
that was really good.
Feel
That
it. I
made.
feel like it's better every time.
You're a star, baby.
Thank
You're a
you.
star.
Do they still play that
Oh.
song?
No, the
Okay.
song is gone forever. It was done in the disco era.
Such a dick move. Like that's like if nothing
That's
else.
the best part. It was done in the 2 years of disco, and they never changed it.
Why? I mean,
I don't
that's
know,
the
it's
worst thing
horrible.
about the move, though.
really
That's the
bad.
best song. That's the best team song
Late
there is.
70s, early 80s.
All right.
Ugh.
Here are my big thoughts on the Los Angeles Chargers. What is Melvin Gordon thinking? This guy has no leverage.
No,
The running
none.
back position's completely diminished. He knows nothing about value. He needs to talk to his boy, offensive tackle Russell Okung, who is a big Bitcoin investor, about explaining value and investing. Maybe that's what's going on. Okung is trying to get Gordon to hold out so he can hodl some Bitcoin. That's the 2 biggest red flags. I wanted to go all in on this Chargers team. I wanted to.
I
Definitely.
thought you were doing a Bitcoin plug right there. I paused for it.
Well, you can deposit and withdraw.
I don't know what
on
Bitcoin is.
my
Every time
bookie.
people explain it, I have
Bitcoin.
nothing. It's just whoop.
Hey, blockchain technology, it's here to say
Got it.
say goodbye to fiat currency, but that's for another time. If you want to know how to bet on sports using Bitcoin, which I highly recommend, you can go to sportsgamblingpodcast.com, click the how-to link. But we're here to talk about Melvin Gordon, Russell Okung, their left tackle. He's got some
Yeah.
weird heart thing.
No one
It's
knows
all
what's going
up
on.
in the
though.
air.
That's the thing. Yeah.
And Meanwhile, September 1st, he's hosting a Bitcoin conference. If you've ever had to host a conference or any sort of giant gathering, I'm already worried
There we
about
go.
this Legacy Stadium thing, getting all the names and getting everything set up. It's stressful. It's not good in your heart. But Russell Okung's doing that 7 days before the kickoff?
He seems serious because he posted a blog about how he went to the doctor and it saved his life. That's either hyperbolic or, I mean, that's serious.
That's serious.
It's
because,
almost like season ending.
well, yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
it's your heart. You really
And you have an
need
older
it.
quarterback. Like, that was that's the only kind
The
of like,
left
big
tackle. You can't fuck with
question
the
mark,
left
yeah.
tackle. You
No.
just can't. Everything else I love about the Chargers. The
Everybody
defensive
loves
line.
Tevy or everybody who they've been working out at left tackle. But
Yeah. The defensive
know.
line, Joey Bosa. My boy Melvin Ingram, who, when he taped an episode of Ridiculousness,
Your
I
boy.
said to Melvin Ingram, even though I called him Melvin Gordon earlier in the program, I said,
I make that mistake all the time, and I know
Yeah.
the difference.
I said, you guys brought in Jerry Tillery with you and Bosa? And he just gave a big smile and just nodded his head. I'm like, you boys are going to be bad. And he liked that expression. Adam Shine gave the Los Angeles Chargers. He ranked them number 1 in defense. Hunter Henry, hit on him
He's
in
back.
the fantasy football program. I think he could have a huge year. Like, I think we're talking like 8 touchdowns. I just
800
think,
yards.
yeah.
He would make a nice number 3 tight end on the Eagles, right?
Is he going to have a better year than Dallas Goedert, considering how much 12 personnel they're going to be running? It's going to be tough to say. I would rank Hunter Henry higher at the tight end fantasy position,
Just
which
because
I did.
he's gonna bogart all the touchdowns.
Red zone,
They're gonna
especially
split
if
the touchdowns
especially if
between,
Melvin Gordon holds out for a while.
Goddard and the other guy.
The other possible negatives. There's some little regression. The whatever Indian burial ground the StubHub Center was.
It's
made
not even
on.
the StubHub Center. It's like I don't even know what it's called.
This is now our new annual tradition because I Google StubHub Center and then bring up the actual name. It's the Dignity Health Sports
dignity for the dignity of it.
Park. The Dignity. Although they have no
it just
dignity
rolls off the tongue.
because the other
Dignity
team
Health.
has more fans and more people cheering. You can't win a
Wow.
division if you don't have the home field advantage. It's
You
my
don't.
concern. The veteran adds, Tyrod Taylor, legit backup. I would say if Phillip has to go down for a game or two, he's probably the best quarterback in the league, backup. Thomas Davis, who I don't think enough people are talking about.
Can I just say this about Thomas Davis?
Sure.
So you have a guy in his mid-30s
Yep.
coming
Yeah.
over with 3 knee injuries.
Yep.
Yeah.
We expected him to just be a leader. He's a castaway captain of the Carolina Panthers. Years.
Yep.
Comes over in his first preseason workout. He's covering Cooper Kupp. Makes an impromptu cover and knocks the ball down. I was blown away. After 3 knee injuries, he was covering the slot receiver. He looks great in practice.
Dude,
He
that-
blew me away.
when he
after those
played
knee
in that
injuries?
Super Bowl with that
I was
fucking
blown
like,
away, man.
Some guys
those
know how to play
giant
football.
staples.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just knows how to do it.
There's that
I
whole
was
like
blown away. I didn't expect much.
guys can measure well at the combine, but they just don't
Yeah.
know how to play football. He's a guy who seems like he knows how to play football. He
does.
reminds me. He honestly
He's-
reminds me of Antonio Pierce, where it's like
he
he
blew me
wasn't
away, man.
athletically gifted, but
Yeah.
he just knows where to be.
Now,
Yeah.
the Chargers are coming off a 12-4 season where they won 4 games by 4 points or less. They seem to not be cursed for a brief period in their franchise history, which is odd.
And just on the same thing with Thomas Davis, they had 2 linebackers injured versus the Patriots.
Yeah,
when
that's
they
why the
ran all
Patriots
over.
ran it down
The
their
Patriots
fucking throat.
literally see your weakness and they run it down. So
Somehow the Ravens weren't able to figure that out.
no, well they had a rookie quarterback. They let go of Joe Flacco and let this guy go. But they have Perriman is healthy and Jadavis Brown is healthy.
All right. The stats on the Chargers: 12-4 last year. Win total 9.5 over at MyBookie. The over, tremendous amount of juice on the over at -150. Under +120. Division +175. Conference +650. Super Bowl 1,500.
Ooh.
I did I hit on I hit on the draft picks: Jerry Tillery, Nasir Adderley, Trey Pipkins, offensive tackle, Drew Tranquil, linebacker, Easton Stick, who is former or North Dakota State,
That's
Bison
right.
Strong #.
40-yard
Offseason-
touchdown run. in
Yeah,
preseason.
he looked good, man. He looked scrappy. Off-season losses: Geno Smith, Terrell Williams, Antonio Gates? Question mark.
Doesn't
Because
matter.
where was he lost to? He's just in the wind. I wouldn't
love
rule him
Antonio.
out showing up in October for like 4 games.
It doesn't
Uncle
matter.
Tony.
Uncle T-Bone, Darius Philon, Corey Liggett, Jason Verrett,
Legit is gone. He was legit. but he's gone.
Jaleel Ade.
Adai wasn't that good.
Yeah,
No, he's
Ade.
fine.
There you go.
I liked him.
That's why we bring in Decker
Decker,
for the pronunciation.
The way that you
I
did
got all the
that without
pronunciation.
making the host aware of it.
I called him
Not
out on it.
throwing
I
it in his
appreciate
face.
it. I
but,
appreciate
you
it.
know,
Hey, that's why we bring the pros in.
Pronunciation's
question-
hard.
My question
but
about
they were unmemorable. It's not like, no one would know
Yeah,
how to pronounce that.
not a
name.
household
It's a
name.
tough name.
Decker, and I mean this.
I
I'm
mean to
really
call you
not
out.
trying to shit on them or the franchise of the situation. 2020, the new Los Angeles Stadium will be open.
Yes.
The Los Angeles Chargers, as currently constructed, a 12-4 team, have trouble selling out the Dignity Health Sports Park,
Yes.
which seats 21,000. Now you're going to add 60,000 in capacity to somewhere in the 70 or 80,000 or whatever.
It's going to be better. Because it's going
What's
to be
gonna-
the crowd noise is going to be more spread out. It's going to be more neutral games, the better. They went 5-3 last year at home and 7-1 on the road. I love road games, and they had an easy schedule last year.
I love road
They got lucky this year. They are extremely lucky. They play Indianapolis and the Texans. I'm going to the Texans game because it's the only home game they have.
I was going to ask
And
you.
week 1, I think Luck is going to be kind of injured.
Oh, kind
Yeah.
of.
He's going to miss a lot of games in the preseason.
Kramer,
What the
what's your take on this Chargers team?
I think they have a very manageable schedule. I
Yeah.
think it's insane. I mean, I see there's juice, but it's insane that this team is at 9.5.
It's
Like just based on the if you break
But
down
it
the
makes sense.
schedules, the thing that popped out to me was the schedule disparity in this division. And I know it's only 2 teams, right? But just the way it sets up with the rest disparity and the home road splits and all of that, I think the Chargers have a very manageable schedule. And here's what I'd say: you want a hot take, Sean?
Not really, but all right.
Find me a better roster in the National Football League, top to bottom. I hear you. They won some close games last year. I get it. There may be some regression
Very
there.
complete roster.
They didn't have a weakness at any position. They could draft whoever fit the position.
BPA, we call it.
But
Decker.
they were building up like 7 years of regression in some areas.
They unleashed it.
All of the regression happened.
That was all the built-up regression.
Let's hope that they're ready for some more regression. They've rested. There's been a full off season. Time to get back on the saddle.
And I love when you're just trying to keep an eye on a quarterback. Is he going to fall off the cliff? Where's he going? Trending up, trending down. Yards per attempt. It's not the most pure stat, but to me, it's a great indicator.
7.8. That's my guess. That's just without looking at his computer. Is that what it is?
No, 8.5. 8.5
Oh,
yards.
last year.
Yeah, last year.
Last year, not
Career 7.8. You
Oh,
did nail that, Decker.
I think I saw something that
But
He's
he's
had
coming up
two-
Yeah.
32-12 with 8.5 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
Like there was in 2016, he kind of had that career high 21 interceptions, and you
Doesn't
start
mean
talking.
shit. Those are all Hail Marys at the end of the game.
You start 21 is kind of
I
high
don't
for
care
him,
about that
so
at
you
all.
start questioning. 7.6 yards per attempt,
his
which is still really good, but. Well,
Two out of
you
the
started
last-
to question, but the last 2 years, 7.9 yards per attempt, 8.5 yards per attempt, 10 interceptions, 12 interceptions.
He's got weapons, dude, even if Melvin Gordon doesn't play. He's
Eckler.
got
I don't think
And
the drop off
Justin,
with Eckler is huge.
Jackson.
Justin Jackson's
Had
kind of
a,
legit.
you should have seen him in the last 5 games.
if you recall, Sean.
Melvin Gordon didn't play in the Kansas City game. Justin Jackson won them that game on the road.
If you recall, I think before last year's draft, insider Eric Olson pointing out that Justin Jackson, best football player he ever played with at Northwestern.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that's right. At Northwestern.
I'm a believer that
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon is in a tight spot. because
He's in the deepest running back position in the league.
they literally
and
are
he's
like,
sitting out.
cool.
It's a bad move.
Cool. I'll tell you this. We're gonna get through the schedule, Sean, but I'm gonna throw out a little bonus bet for you.
Ooh.
Chargers make the playoffs over at my book. I'm gonna tease how I feel about them.
Well, at my bookie, I thought only Vegas shops were offering this, but not only the playoff bets, but they're also offering won't win the Super Bowl bets, which is just awesome because I could pick you like Cleveland Browns.
Oh, they're
won't
the
win
best
Super
value
Bowl.
in the league.
Yeah.
Without a home schedule, they're the second best team in the AFC, and they're going to be a wild card.
I
They have to win 3 road games.
I don't know if you've heard.
They're going to have to win
Decker.
3 road games.
I've offered a
They're the second best
challenge
team.
to the world. If anyone would like to wager on the Browns to win the Super Bowl, I will bankroll that.
Oh,
Here's what I was
I'd
getting
take
to.
that.
Chargers.
Let's do it. Let's walk through the schedule. Or wait, what?
No, let's
do you have
go
more
through the
points?
schedule. No,
let's go.
Give us your big
it's
points,
cool.
Kramer.
No, we'll get the big points were simply that this team is loaded. They have the best roster. I don't love the coach still. The quarterback you can trust. Sure, they don't have a home field advantage, but as Decker was saying, in a weird way, that makes them more dangerous.
I'm really worried about Okun managing this Bitcoin conference.
The
People have lunch requests. They want seating arrangements.
The offensive
You're
line.
getting texts about where do I park?
I don't know if
You're
you've
supposed
heard.
to be studying the playbook.
Yeah, I think if
My
He's really
dad-
into Bitcoin
my
and
dad,
not blocking
my
people.
dad ran a conference over at LAX at the Hilton. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of stress. You got your wife packaging up materials and binders.
Sounds
hey,
hard.
where am I going to hang the step and repeat banner? Oh, put it over there. Okay, we ran out of croissants, Russell. What do we do? The coffee wasn't included. There's going to be a lot of stress from running a Bitcoin conference.
He's out for the season.
I'm really worried about Okun.
That's the if, right? The offensive line. If the offensive line falls on their face, I don't think I don't think Melvin Gordon. Like it's nice if he's there. In a way, hold out for like 6 games so you're fresh down the stretch.
Well, they still have a #1 draft pick who hasn't played in Forrest Lamp, and it's his first year, so that's a good.
They're
backup.
saying he's
I mean,
everything they expect him to be.
Oh, he's been playing great, so I don't know.
That's certainly a good sign. But not having a left tackle with a veteran quarterback like Phillip Rivers, who
is not mobile,
a statue.
Can we say?
He can move. He can pick him up and put him down.
If the Chargers season doesn't work out for some reason, I'm looking right there at left tackle.
First 4, Indy at home. Probably no Andrew Luck at this point.
Well, if not,
He's
it'll
got
be
some
his
weird
first
high
game.
ankle thing now. We taped the AFC South, the legendary AFC South preview, a couple days ago when we were just talking about the calf, and then there was breaking news that the calf had become an ankle thing. We smelled that out though, and we're probably not getting enough credit. But I made the Colts, I think 9-7 because I just didn't think they were going to start off well at all. Jacoby Brissett on the road, even though it is in Los Angeles in the beautiful Dignity Health Sports.
That's
Park.
a home game.
That's
right?
a home game. They have 2 home games, week 1 and week 3, and that's it. I checked it.
I'm saying they start out strong. Give me 3-1 for the first 4 for the Chargers.
Indy at Detroit,
Me
Houston at Miami.
Just because that's their 2 home games, they're gonna go 3-1.
Well, and their road games are like, you guys are insane. 4-0.
That's
wow.
That's not out of the
That's the
question.
easiest part of their schedule.
What did you guys say? Sorry,
I said
wasn't
3-1. I mean,
I was thinking
They may
hard.
lose one
I
road
was
game.
thinking about how what if Andrew Luck, after that shoulder situation, he got into the he got hanging out with the owner a little bit, got into the drug cabinet, started popping the opiates, and now he's done something to his bone from shooting up in the ankle. I don't know.
he's not that guy. He's not
Well,
gonna
here's
do
the thing.
drugs as you
He's
get
not
that
playing week 1 now, right?
with Jim Irsay.
I'm super nervous.
Is that game off the board?
Jim
No,
Irsay
I
with
think
his
he may play, but it's not looking good for the preseason.
But if
At all.
have they taken that game off the board? They
I
did.
don't know.
That's
They
interesting.
did.
At my bookies, it off the board.
It's off the board. in my
Indy
book.
does not travel well, at least to San Diego when they came.
Look, if you can get,
And LA, I
I feel
don't
like
think it'd be
you
any different.
lay with 3 points. I'm guessing lay that right now because Luck's not playing that first week. Next 4: Denver Again, look at this fucking schedule. Denver at home.
Got
That's not a
lucky
home
again.
game. Not a home game though. But they're not losing to Joe Flacco. Derwin James not losing to Joe Flacco. Pittsburgh at home. That's a tough spot. At Tennessee.
That is not
trash.
a home game.
At Chicago.
That's a tough schedule. Those 4 games are tough.
3-1.
No, I'm going 2-2.
3-1.
I'll go 2-2.
Oh, they still have to play the. No, I got to go 3-1 because they have
They're
to play
not
the
going.
Chiefs twice.
They're not losing in Tennessee. Are you going
Actually,
3-1?
no, I'm gonna have them beat the Chiefs once. I'm gonna go 2-2.
I'll go 2-2 here. So what I got? I'm 5-3 in the
That's a
first
tough
8.
schedule, man. Chicago
right.
is no joke.
Well,
They almost lost to the Titans last year in Tennessee.
but they didn't. The Titans are dog shit.
But they didn't.
They lost on a
Sorry,
fourth
Titans
quarter.
fans.
They lost on a fourth quarter last second play.
Green Bay at Oakland on Thursday. They host the Chiefs in beautiful Mexico. Late bye week, week 12. That's either a good thing or a bad thing. And see what I did there? Gave myself 2 outs. At Denver. This is the tough part of the schedule to me.
I got
Green
'em
Bay,
going 3-1.
Kansas City at home. At
Yeah,
Oakland
I'm 3-1 too. I'm with my boy Decker.
So I got them 8-4, I believe.
I think they go 2-2 here. Last 4 at Jacksonville, Minnesota, Oakland, at Kansas City. I'm going 2-2 again.
No, then I got them going 3-1.
What do
No,
I do
I got
here?
them going 2-2. 2-2.
I'll go 2-2. It does feel they should go 3-1, but again, the Jags. That's good. That's a tough game
I
in
had them
Jacksonville.
10-6, which is still over. Believe it or not.
So you both have them going 10-6.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yep.
I have them going 11-5.
So we're all over. No differentiating opinions.
I have them going 5-3 at home, and 6-2 on the road.
Here's the thing.
Still a better record on the road.
Here's the thing. How do you not take this? Bonus bet, Sean? They make the playoffs minus 230.
They have the
Get
second best
the
team in the league.
Get the fuck out. Oh, I only got to lay 230 to say the Chargers are making the playoffs.
Oh, that's a good. I like that.
I mean, I think we have a similar situation to last year. We're looking at the Chiefs and Chargers competing for a top seed or the 5 seed. So, sure, this line is really more like 10 with even juice. If you're doing the calculations, I love that they're dangling that 9.5 minus 150 to me. Most people, they might be scared of that juice, Sean. Not me. I would make this a whale play.
Wow.
In honor of
It's a baby fucking wheel, man.
You're going full whale play?
Am I
Mega whale
am I
or
mushing?
just regular whale?
It's just, how are they really, they're not a 9-7 team.
The
To
Chargers-
lose, I got to go 9-7.
Yeah, the Chargers are going to lose 2 versus the AFC West, 1 versus the AFC South, 1 versus the NFC North, and then 1 other game.
I apologize, Decker. I was really bad last year, which means I'm due, and I'm crushing your team right now. Yeah,
I think I picked the Raiders 8-8 last year.
Here's
They
what
were 4-12.
again, yeah, I love just playing the simple game of, okay, so 9-7's got to beat me. 9-7 beats me, cool.
I could see them
go
9-7.
through that sketch. You guys were generously giving them losses.
I had them going 5-3 at home, 6-2 on the road.
Generously giving them losses, and they still got to 10-6 in your book. So it seems hard. Sean, let's talk about everyone's favorite team.
The Oakland Raiders.
Long cocks.
Who I like now, apparently, after I saw 2
No,
episodes.
don't
I
power
like John
power
Gruden.
through those feelings. I got to know John Gruden. I'm still willing to make fun of John Gruden. Kramer's really nailed it on the head. He's in that John Madden thing where you like him, but you also like making fun of him, right?
Yeah.
Because he's a character. He's a caricature.
Why do we love The Rock? Because The Rock does awesome things.
Yeah.
Why do we love John Gruden? Because
There-
John Gruden does awesome things.
There's a little difference. I think The Rock's kind of in on the joke of him being The Rock. John Gruden, unaware that him being John Gruden is a joke. Hard Knocks, to me, the biggest thing that they've illuminated is what they haven't illuminated, and that is Josh Jacobs, and Farrell. Where have they been in these 2 first-round picks that they had to get for Khalil Mack?
If I'm a Raiders fan, I'm stoked. It means they're not fucking characters.
Well,
I don't need
would
a character.
I would, as a viewer, I'm saying, I'm totally the opposite. They need, as a TV producer, Ryan, you need good to balance out the bad storylines. Antonio Brown, bad storylines.
Bad.
Instead of like, but there's new hope. There's new hope
Jonathan
in Oakland.
Abraham is that. The Cowboy rookie safety.
Yeah.
But what about Josh Jacobs? I'm saying they're 2 first-round picks we've heard barely anything of
Listen,
in this
Sean,
reality
if
show.
you don't-
That is a red flag.
Hey, let's,
you
let's
don't
let it play out this season.
If you don't invest that top,
Stop defending the Raiders, Decker.
I know. What do I like the Raiders? What's that?
Gruden, 12 years as a head coach. Only 4 times has he got double-digit wins. This is a guy who doesn't know how to get double-digit wins as a football head coach.
The
He
backup-
just doesn't.
the backup quarterbacks on this team are such Gruden backup quarterbacks. He gets dazzled by their ability to throw a tight spiral and just fucking hates their demeanor.
He's stoked about Nathan Peterman, who threw 6 touchdowns in a half.
Wait,
Or
what?
6 interceptions. I'm
I
sorry.
actually
Five
actually watched
interceptions.
the
Against
last
the
episode
Chargers.
of Hard Knocks, and they started the profile of Nathan Peterman, and I turned to my wife and I go, "This is a guy who threw." I even did the Gruden there. This is a guy. I go, he threw 5 interceptions in one half, and she goes, "Oh no!" She felt really bad for him.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about a fumble. I'm counting a fumble as a
Oh, six
6
turnovers.
turnovers.
David Carr.
And funny enough,
my fault.
he was playing because the Bills for some reason benched
Tyrod Taylor, who is
David
now the backup quarterback.
Yes, there you go.
David Carr, Glennon, Peterman, 3 quarterbacks combined, 0 juice between any of them, 0 leadership ability, 0 onions, balls in. If
Dude.
Antonio Brown, do you think he would do this on the New England Patriots? No, he doesn't. He's not gonna have a helmet problem if he's playing for Bill Belichick and Tom Brady.
Derek
he
Carr
was- he-
cried last year.
Derek Carr cried.
Remember?
Well, yeah, because he's Derek Carr. There's that weird moment where he said, like, "Oh, I've played in plenty of big moments." Have you, Derek? Have you?
Fresno State. Right?
Yeah,
They played in some night games down there.
the Vegas Bowl, whatever Derek Carr has gotten into. Side note, Derek Carr, what is going on with that hairline? It is who's the kid in the Addams family?
Sean,
Id
I'll be
or
honest.
Cousin
I don't.
Id? I don't know.
I'm not looking at men's hairlines.
You're not?
No,
Well,
it's
Ryan.
not something I observe. But-
He's got a crazy widow's peak, and then he's got side widow's peak jumping out. The side of his forehead
widow's
almost touches his eyebrows. I'm gonna make this the
You know what's
picture
funny? I
in
don't
the AFC
notice it
West
either.
preview.
Oh,
How do
I
you
mean,
not notice it?
I know you're wearing a hat, but myself and Decker, we're full. We're all go. All systems go up there.
I'm not actually wearing a hat, Ryan.
No, Decker's wearing
Oh,
a hat.
okay.
Or you'd see his beautiful full head of hair. Just maybe suggesting that men.
Look at that.
All right,
I'm
we-
just gonna show.
What am I seeing? I
Look
don't
at
know
that.
if
Look
that's
at how
bad.
much it juts out.
It does jut out.
It almost touches his eyebrows.
It's like
That's
Nick,
not
Nick
normal.
Cage. I don't know if that is that
I think
not
that-
normal.
No, it's not normal at all.
Decker, I
And
think-
what's also not normal
I
is
feel
him.
like I got a little of that going on.
Yeah, you do
No, it's not-
actually.
I mean,
But yours
I
is
think that's
faded
normal.
a little bit.
Can we listen?
Also, he's rolling up his sleeves to show off his arms. That is a guy who needs to establish himself as an alpha.
Suns out,
As-
guns out.
As an alpha, I don't need to roll up my sleeves. When I come on stage, when I host this podcast, you know I'm an alpha, all right? I don't need to explain, hey, I'm an alpha, guys. By the way, I'm going to roll up my sleeves. See, look at that.
Oh.
This is what you call a gun, and I'm an alpha.
He oils
doesn't-
up his arms.
He doesn't have it. Tom Cable, horrific offensive line coach. Really a big issue when he was on the Seahawks.
Yeah.
For some reason, they brought him over to the Raiders.
He's like a joke in the analytic community.
He's the only guy to go 6-0 in his division and not make the play. Well, they went 8-8.
8-8.
Yeah,
Yeah.
8-8.
And they fired him.
Yeah.
Smart move, Raiders.
6-0.
And
in the
they're
division.
they would be so fortunate to get an 8-8. Another thing, it hasn't even really been hit on, I think, enough when describing what a piece of shit this team is going to be. They're moving
I think
next
they're
year.
going to be bad.
Yeah.
They're moving next year. Let's take a look.
So
at-
look
Stadium
at-
looks nice.
Hold on.
drove to
Oh, yeah.
Vegas.
It's a
It does
look
look
ahead
nice.
season.
It is. And John Gruden has made it clear with his body language that he fucking hates Derek Carr. Now, let's look at comparable situations. The 2015 St. Louis Rams, 7-9. And that was that's Jeff Fisher
Yeah.
peaking. The 2016 San Diego Chargers, you remember them, of course.
I remember, yeah, absolutely.
Very talented team. Even that 2006 team, somehow 5-11. Why?
Unbelievable.
Same thing with Russell Okun trying to get his Bitcoin conference. Have you ever tried to move? It's a huge pain in the ass.
Yeah. It is a huge
He
pain,
just Carr just bought a house in Las Vegas. There's paperwork, closing costs. He's got 3 kids. He's got to move out. He's got to probably give his shithead brother a house as well because he was sacked out of the league and probably didn't hold on to his money. Invested in Russell Okun's
Sacked out
Bitcoin
of
at
the league.
the wrong time. Moving an
Stay
entire
tuned
franchise.
for more Sean's
2003.
view on life and how it's hard.
It's a pain in the ass. But moving teams or moving cities as a team, everyone's just looking ahead. That's why they gave Gruden this 10-year deal. They knew this was going to be a down year. They were like, all right, these last 2 years in Oakland, the Coliseum, they just figured out they were going to play at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
And the Coliseum doesn't really want them there. How is that going to work?
And that's still the last baseball stadium, correct?
Yeah, they're out there
It's
playing on
the
sand.
last, I believe.
Last but not least, they have no pass rush. Only 13 sacks last
They have
year.
no
as a
pass protection.
team.
They
As a-
lost 2 guys.
Yeah.
Penn and, how do you say his name? Asemele?
The
Assembly.
crazy thing is, 2016, when they had that really good year, they had a really good offensive line. And if you had a world-class offensive line with a world-class defense, you could talk me into Derek Carr getting you to double-digit
And
wins.
Jackson just had an MCL injury on their offensive line. They have 3 guys out. They're looking for guys right now to protect Derek Carr.
So insane.
I don't know who's going to protect this guy. Honestly.
Last year, they had 13 sacks as a team. Khalil Mack had 12.5 sacks. There were prop bets who will have more sacks, Khalil Mack or the entire Oakland Raiders.
Wow.
That's not a good stat. And yet, granted, they drafted Farrell, but
Dude.
defensive pass rusher, it's going to take a while to figure it out.
Imagine if they had an elite one.
I got to say this about the Raiders. They, no matter who their coach, no matter who comes in, they're still the Raiders. Their 2 pickups are wide receivers and Vontaze Burfict.
And
That's the Raiders, and they cut their 5th-round kicker. That's just total Raiders, just
the
the
chemistry
last
issues.
30 years.
Richie
Same thing.
Incognito, although he's gone to counseling.
So
The
that
guy
was,
who the
The
guy
guy
who,
bad boy.
the guy who was
That's
threatening to saw off his dad's head at a funeral partner.
He mentioned his
Parlor.
therapy in the
Yeah,
in the
he did say
the
he's like they
second
tell
episode.
they tell us that in counseling.
He's like, I learned that in counseling.
him mocking.
he seems to really like him.
him mocking
Yeah,
the
I
training
love the new
camp
Richie
fight was
Incognito.
hilarious.
He's
Yeah.
like, I'm too old for that. Stay off to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, the season. If Richie Incognito is your wise veteran, if he's your locker room presence,
The Raiders are like, let's just keep bringing in receivers. That'll fix everything.
Not to mention, have you seen the quarterback class coming out this year? You think Gruden's seen that? He probably can't wait for that
Yes.
Gruden grinder quarterback class.
Oh, yeah.
I truly, I mean, this is tanking for Tua. What are we calling it? He's definitely wants a new quarterback. He is so that speech he gave to his backups that I
Was
think
desperately-
they cleverly cut Derek Carr out of that frame or whatever happened. I guarantee that they have cut footage out of this show of him screaming at Derek Carr. The Raiders have been
He
like, no,
doesn't
no, no,
Feels
no.
like
it.
Derek
It feels
Carr.
like it.
It just seems like they want a new quarterback. The best way to do that is through the draft. Mayock is there. They are both locked in for long-term deals. They're probably like side deal, like you're definitely making it to Vegas. Don't worry about it. So I don't see what the motivation here is, Sean. And they have a ridiculously hard schedule. Like the dumpster fire is real. They have a
Horrible
shallow
bad
roster.
luck.
They're not going to be able to play defense. They have a quarterback that can't throw it down the field.
And in that division with the pass rush in the AFC West, he's gonna get sacked.
We will see Nate
He's gonna lead the
Peterman-
league in sacks.
All right, so
Getting
couple bold predictions. 1, Raiders will trade for a quarterback at the end of training camp. 2, we will see every quarterback. We will see Nate Peterman, Mike Glennon, and another unnamed quarterback take a snap for this Raiders team this year, in addition to Derek Carr.
I'm really looking forward to the Peterman era. in Oakland.
I'm looking forward to every
Oh.
weekend when he says we need a pass rush. We need a pass rush. We need a pass rush. You dumb-
Is there a prop bet on the number of games Derek Carr starts? Because I want to bet the under.
The problem is
He
the
was-
backups are so bad.
But the backups have started in the league.
Mike Glennon, the only
Glennon
reason
has
he
thrown a
hasn't been
bunch
shoved in a
of
locker.
INTs.
The only reason he hasn't been shoved in a locker is he's too fucking tall. That long ass neck. Nate
He has
Peterman,
some-
really? That's the best you can do. Colin Kaepernick is available.
He loves
now,
Nate
this is an area where I do.
And that's Oakland, too.
Anyway,
For
should we
now.
go through the schedule?
Yeah.
Getting
do it.
loopy. Denver at home on Monday night, late game. Kansas City at home, at Minnesota, at Indy.
0-4.
Yeah.
At Indian who?
at Minnesota and at Indy. So
Oh my
I don't.
God, that's 0-4.
Do they get Denver? They win opening night, right? Isn't that just? It's Joe Flacco. I'm saying 1-3.
Versus a new,
No. Versus Vic Fangio and that
a
defense.
new head coach.
0-4.
The offensive defensive line mismatch is huge there.
I love the potential for a 1-0 start followed just by like a glorious amount of losses.
Yeah, I mean, week 1 NFL is kind of a shit show.
Chicago in London in the UK, bye week, at Green Bay, at Houston, Detroit, at home. I'll be nice. I'll go 1-3 again.
I'll go 0-4.
I'm 1-3, so I'm 1-7.
Next 4. They got the Chargers on Thursday night at home. That's a winnable spot. Cincinnati at home, winnable spot. At Jets, at Kansas City.
1-3.
2-2.
I'm gonna also go 2-2. I think they randomly get some win. Nate Peterman gets a win here, maybe. Tennessee at home, Jacksonville at home, at Chargers, at Denver. They lose one of those home games, 1-3.
2-2.
I'll go 2-2. They kind of
2-2.
pull it out of the.
Sean, you got them going 3-13.
That feels right.
I got them going 5-11. So we have.
I have 6-10.
You have 6-10.
Yeah.
So 5-11. I apologize to the Titans. Maybe not the worst team in the conference.
I have them
Tied.
pushing. So wow,
So you got to make
Hard Knocks has really got to me. I'm really rooting for the Raiders.
So you're going over or under here, Decker.
No, it's a push. They're at 6 right now.
No, but
What
you
do you
gotta-
mean there's a push?
We don't.
What do you
they're
mean
they're at
push?
6.
Right, but
Predicted
if
to
you
get 6. I
predict
have
the
6
exact
and 10.
number, you have to lean one way or the other. We don't.
Oh,
allow
I'm
fence
leaning
sitting.
under.
Okay, so you're going.
Oh
under.
yeah.
I'm going under. Kramer, you're also under.
Can we talk about this for a second?
Sure.
In order to lose this bet, and the juice on the under is only -120. I'm going to actually.
No, I got the under.
Let me go over.
7 games.
Download.
Find me
let me,
7
let me
games.
deposit some Bitcoin because how the fuck are they winning 7 games?
Antonio Brown wins you a game by himself.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does.
No, he doesn't. Not
If
when
he
he's
plays.
not when he's in the fucking
He's
locker
gonna
room
catch
taking
3
selfies.
touchdowns that no one else can catch.
No,
Yeah, he can.
Derek Carr can't throw him the ball downfield.
No, he did in the Pro Bowl, and he
Oh, you're buying into that. What is
Wow.
going on over
Yeah.
here?
He's
Zachary?
brainwashed. This
I'm-
is how strong reality programming is.
I watched 2 episodes of Hard Knocks. No, they'll go 6-10. That's still shitty, guys. I picked them 8-8 last year.
Yeah. Let's start off with the locks.
Top 5 pick, right?
Give it to me. Under on the Raiders. That is my
No.
lock for this division. It's easy. It's obvious. But to me, they're the team that's clearly farthest off their expected win total by a decent margin.
It's odd that they made it 6. I mean, it's got to just be people getting excited, right? I mean, Derek. Let's not forget, guys. Derek Carr, although he is set for some positive regression from a touchdown percent. The guy's not. He's not a franchise quarterback, as Sean once said about Sam Bradford. And most importantly,
Sam Bradford is not a fucking franchise quarterback.
I just don't. While I don't know if Gruden knows how to not try hard, I also don't know how. Like, this team's just not ready. They'll be there in a year. When you ship off Khalil Mack and you get a bunch of picks, you're going to be a young team. You're going to be a young team, and a young team without, from what we can tell, without any real leadership. Because
And
if
no
Vontaze-
defensive additions in the offseason.
who are the leaders? I'm even watching the coaching. It just doesn't seem like
no.
It doesn't seem like
Antonio
it's there.
Brown is not a leader.
No,
He's not.
no, he's not there.
legitimately crazy.
He's not
He's
there. So
insane.
I mean, can I join you on that?
Tyrell
lock?
Williams is going to get a lot
gonna
of
double
garbage
lock it?
points, just as an aside.
I didn't even know who the Raiders' defensive coordinator was. I just
It doesn't
didn't know.
matter.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
They're in trouble.
John Gruden.
So you're gonna lock up the under as well, Ryan? You're gonna copy my lock.
It's hard to go. And I mean, if you were asking me, hey Ryan, give me another pick, it would probably be the Chargers over. But I worry that something bad will happen to them.
No.
And I'm
I worry that every year of my life.
But the Chargers, I'm taking the division
Okay.
because
wow.
it's almost 2-1. And I think the rosters are competitive. I don't have a problem. I don't think I'd lay 170 for the Chiefs.
No, for the Chiefs, why lay 170? Just take the. To me, there's no value in laying them for the division because they could get you 11 games at minus 120, but then not win the division because maybe the Chargers get hot or the Broncos pull out. I don't know. There's just no value in taking the division at minus 170. You can just bet the over minus 120. So the Chiefs win the division with 10 games. Is that worth that 50 cents price? That doesn't make sense at all to me. So, yeah, I mean, I like the Chiefs as well, but I would just take the over and not think about – I would definitely stay away from betting them the division. Decker, what's your lock here as far as win total?
So my lock, first of all, I just want to say the Chargers.
I
I literally think they're the second best team in the league, and they're going to be a wild card. Superchargers, charge. They're going to be a wild card. Second best team in the league. But my lock is the Broncos under.
I like it.
Win total. And here's the thing. Flacco,
Yeah.
new system, always played with a great defense. His QBR on the road is low. You got a sophomore running back who's garbage points. Let's be honest. Lindsey, a lot of like 9-yard draws.
No,
you got to
Decker,
be kidding
no.
me. A lot. You know how many
He runs
third
so
and long
hard.
draws
All
he's got
he's doing
9
right
yards
now.
and been like 5 yards short?
Hold on. Sean,
Phillip,
can you please
he's
share?
a garbage. He's a
Please-
good fantasy player.
Please
No.
share with Decker.
He's a garbage player.
Please share with Decker what he got tattooed on his body this offseason.
All right. Is this Kobe or
No,
Kobe was
this
high
is-
on Phillip?
This is Philip Lindsay.
No, Philip Lindsay got a tattoo that said
He's-
undrafted.
Undrafted. Chip
Oh,
is
I
on
love
the
it.
shoulder.
I love this guy. Can I love a guy and say he's going to be garbage this year?
no,
No, not
No,
Philip
that-
Lindsay.
no, here,
All he's doing right now is
stop
sitting in
it.
his parents' basement,
He's,
jerking off, dreaming about running over dudes.
He's an-
Basically what I did my entire
He's
Watching MacGyver.
he's a third and long, 8-yard per average running back. He's going to score 6 touchdowns. He's going to get you 1,000 yards. He's a good third-round running back in fantasy. He's not that great.
You're a maniac.
So
Cortland
will.
Sutton, I don't expect Sanders to be that good following that injury. I know he's
again,
come back, but they're going to go 6 and 10.
Guy-
It's going to be the under.
Guys struggle to come back from the injury. We talked about the receiving core. I also like the under. It's another game.
That's my lock.
It's another total I'm going to play. This is more of a they're not getting to 8-8. And if Flacco does get hurt because of those offensive line problems, because of his statuesque lack of any sort of mobility, Locke is the kind of quarterback that comes in and like just completely ruins his career
Yeah.
because he's not ready.
The
Yep.
David Carr.
Yeah.
I will say this. I think the Chiefs are the team that wins the division.
Oh, wow. Okay.
How-
I think so, too.
Hot take there. There's
Fucking-
no value at minus 170, so I would actually stay away from betting it. But in spite of your guys' horseshit, I'm going to say a long shot dog is the Broncos at plus 1,200 to win the division. Long shot dog. Long shot dog.
You know what? I'm actually
Sprinkle
There's
a
no
quarter
way.
unit on
I'm wagering unders on both
I don't
the
think so.
Raiders and Broncos.
Wow. So you're going to double lock it, right?
So here's the weird thing, right? So part of the reason I like this strategy is because I like the Chiefs and Chargers.
yeah.
But there's
think
something
we
about
agree with
the
that.
fact that both teams are set to regress a little bit that makes me nervous about their win totals. So I'm just going to play the inverse of that, and I like fading these teams. So
That probably and again, I picked the Broncos at 8-8. I think the Chiefs win the division. However, if you're talking about long shot super parlay dogs in this area, so what's more likely? The Raiders win the division or the Broncos? They're both priced the same at
Neither.
plus 1,200.
Neither. I'll say the Raiders.
Only the Broncos because of their home field advantage.
Okay,
But
there
the
you go.
Raiders don't have a chance.
Well,
There's no chance.
are there any other? Do you like the Chargers to win the Super Bowl, Decker, at plus 1,500? What's more
I
likely?
Would, if
The-
you have
the
the
Chargers
second best
win-
team, I would say yes, but they have to win 3 road games.
Yeah.
Sean, we're
Who's the
playing
last
the
team to do
game.
that?
Like
The Giants?
what's more likely? I hook up with.
Yeah.
I don't even know who's the. I was gonna say Jennifer Aniston and Katy Perry.
Timely
Neither's
references.
realistic. Neither's realistic. Yeah, I think you're burning your money, Sean, because
That's what I do on this podcast.
I sent you this over Slack, of course, slack.sportsgamblingpodcast.com.
Oh, wow.
If you want to
promoting
mix
the
it up,
Slack.
if you want to mix it up
It's
with
our own secret chat room.
Decker, with all sorts of other folk, you should do that. But I threw it over to you in Slack. A couple days after the NFC South preview, I was able to find the Bucks at plus 1,500 to win their division.
Oh yeah,
In
I like
what-
that even
In
better.
what
I like that.
universe are the Bucks a
Wow.
longer shot to win their division than the Raiders?
Wow.
That's a
That's
The
great
crazy.
Raiders have 2 of the best teams in the NFL, and they are less of an underdog than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers with Bruce Arians. The man ate paint chips. The man went to Virginia Tech. The man made Carson Palmer good.
I was wondering why
Oh,
we were
yeah, I
also
like
so
that.
hard on the Bruce Arians bandwagon. Now it all makes
I like
sense.
that too.
Great hokey.
You convinced me. That's
Great
I love that.
hokey.
It's just odd to me that the Raiders are 12-1. The Raiders are only 33-1 to win the conference. What the All right, here it is.
I would say 100 to 1.
Here it is.
Real
Well,
quick,
this is-
the
this is-
Chargers could make the over even if Rivers gets injured with Tyrod.
This is an insane
Speaking of
pricing disparity.
If the Raiders win the Super Bowl, I will cut my dick off, Sean.
and we'll get Mike Vrabel to cut it off.
In serious note, though, if you wanna wait, if you're someone who's gonna throw money on Raiders to win the Super Bowl, and you want to say meet me in Las Vegas where this is totally legal to
Week
do
1.
so, I would be happy to take that bet. I will
Well, my bookie is giving
Sean.
125 to 1. Would you give 200 to 1?
oh my god.
let's do conference where
Okay.
my bookie's given 33-1.
Okay.
I will give you 50-1.
Wow.
I will give you
What the fuck?
minimum
Sorry,
bet.
it's more.
Minimum bet $500.
Wow.
Or
All
should we
right.
do 100? 100. Let's do
No.
100.
All right. Well, maybe I'll throw 100 on just for the podcast. $5,000 once the Raiders. Well, if I'm going to look like an asshole and the Raiders win the Super Bowl after basically making them the worst team in the NFL, I may as well have a cool $5,000.
Oh, I'll get in on that. If the Raiders win the Super Bowl, I'm gonna hate
Long
myself for a
cocks.
year anyway. So I might as well bet on it.
We should we should tally up how much liability I have if the Raiders win the Super Bowl.
Real quick though, Broncos to win the conference, 45 to 1.
Dude, knock it off.
No, there's no way.
Shut up.
I don't
Let me
think there's
point
any
this
way.
out. 4,500 for the conference, plus 10,000, 100 to 1 for the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, the Raiders plus 3,300 for the conference, plus 12,500. That math makes no sense. The Raiders are 1,200 less to win the conference, but 2,500 more to win the Super Bowl.
I love your logic. I love how you're attacking this pointless logic proposition of like both teams suck.
Right.
They're just toying.
I'm
with
splitting hairs. It's
But you
pointless.
let-
what I'm highlighting is the fact is that it means people are betting the Raiders to win the conference.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I'm getting. Okay.
I
enough.
mean, you've been to a
Thank you
bar in
for
LA, right?
participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Raiders.
Oh god.
big ups to Justin Decker. Make sure you give him a follow on Twitter at Justin Decker. Correct, Justin?
You got it.
You got it. One more
Thank you
time.
for participating in the Sports Gambling Podcast.
Rate,
Yes, thank
review,
you.
and share on iTunes. Play Balto. Give them a follow. MyBookie.ag. Promo code SGP100. Stay tuned for the Mike Leach bonus interview podcast dropping late this weekend. For the Sports Gambling Podcast, I'm Sean, second the Money Green, and he is Ryan.
My favorite sports gambling podcast, 5 stars from Jake A23, San Diego Superchargers.
Charge.
Kramer, let